Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about how you just need to talk to your kids.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I am going to be talking about, just talking to your kids. Actually, I had this conversation with my mother. Imagine that. She was talking to her kid just yesterday. Called mom to see how she's doing. I don't think I've really shared this on the podcast, but my mother was diagnosed with stage 3 throat cancer a few months ago, and she has gone through her radiation. All signs look good. It'll take a couple months for us to find out, but in that process, my mom lives several hundred miles away from me, so the best thing we could do was to get on the phone. And we often talk about lessons that I share with you here on the podcast. I obviously tell her about her grandchildren, but sorry about that. But, most importantly, I just have dialogue with her. And I was sharing with her something I shared with you not too long ago, and about how my 2-year-old pretty much knows his ABCs and his 1, 2, 3s, his colors, and he got an assessment at school, which unbeknownst to me, I just kind of thanked his teachers for all that they do one day. I said, he's doing such a good job, and I know we do things at home, but you guys reinforce it here, and I just want to thank you. She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, he knows all of his ABCs, all of his 1, 2, 3s, up to 16 he can count on his own. He recognizes all the letters, uppercase and lowercase, and he's 2 years old. Just turned 2 years old. And she looked at me and she goes, oh, okay. And then a couple days later, she had to do his evaluation, and he did all of this in front of her. I think she thought I was blowing some smoke up her butt when I said it. So I bumped, obviously I pick up my son a couple days later, and she goes, he knows all this stuff. I said, I know. I told you. I thanked you for being the people who help encourage it and get more repetition out of them, because we do it at home, but I know you do it there. And she was like, he's amazing. And I was like, I don't know about amazing, but he knows his stuff. And she goes, no, he's like one of the youngest in the class. So anyway, I'm sharing this with my mom, and one of the things I talk about in my book, is there's a chapter in there that says no baby talk. Like, I don't talk to my children at their level. I talk to them at my level. Like, a kid's a clean slate. Right? If I use certain words, he's going to start learning. They're going to start learning those words, because the word cat to a kid is foreign. So I can use a larger name. Like, I love that they use rhinoceros. Right? It's like one of the animals, and it's a long name. And you say rhinoceros, and you would think like, oh, a kid can't handle that. Kid doesn't care. Kid just wants to learn because he thinks a rhinoceros looks cool. And you told him it's a rhinoceros. Elephant is not a short word, right? At the end of the day, all words are open to kids' vocabulary at this point. So she said, one of the things that one of her favorite memories is that, I had a large vocabulary at the age of 3, because I used to watch, I had older brothers and sisters, and they used to watch soap operas, and I used to watch soap operas at the age of 3. She says her and I going grocery shopping on a Friday night, we would talk about the soap operas of the week, because I was young and I was at Dad's, and she would say, well, tell me what happened on General Hospital, and I would tell her. And people would be amazed because I would be speaking like a little adult. Here's the thing. Nobody spoke to me in baby talk. Whatever the adults were that were around me, whatever they spoke, they were talking to each other. And even when they talked to me, they talked at a certain, like, they didn't talk down to me. They didn't get down to my level, you know, thinking, oh, he's only 3. And I don't talk to my kids. I've been reading to my son since the day he came out of the womb. Books that I'm reading. Not like, oh, let me just buy a little nursery rhyme book. No. When I did my daily Bible reading, when he was a baby, I don't do it so much now because he's in school, I would read my Bible out loud to my son. I wanted him to get comfortable with my voice. I wanted him to get comfortable with knowing Daddy's projection and not just, oh, hey, buddy, whatever. No, I wanted to just read out loud so he got comfortable with all tonalities. And as my mom shared with me, and I'm sharing with you, is all we got to do is talk to our kids about anything. Just have conversation. And I really think in today's day and age, and I hate to say it, like, I don't know some of these younger generations, and I feel like an old man saying it, but listen, looking down into a phone and typing things out is not having a conversation. And I really think the art of that is being lost. As kids do look down, they don't look in our eyes. They are looking at apparatuses and, you know, iPads and tablets and phones and computers and TVs. Everybody's looking into a damn box. You know, get your kids to look at you. Get your kids to come into the other room and, hey, I'm speaking to you. Come here. Like, it's important. I had an altercation, and I may have recorded this on a podcast the day before. I'm not sure, but, you know, a kid walking away from me, as I called him young man, as an adult, talking to him, and he's walking away, and he walking away saying, my name's not young man, as if that's okay to say that to an adult. Now, I don't know jack about parenting, and I'm not in his household, but my kid knows that's unacceptable. If he ever did that to another adult, man, there would be so many consequences. Look, it's one thing to do it to me. You do it to somebody outside of my home. When you know the difference between respect and disrespect, oof. There's consequences for actions. And he would feel the pain of that. And that could be no TV for a month. It could be no video games for 2 weeks. That could be no dessert, right? For a week. I don't know what that is, because I hope I don't have to encounter it. But at this age, there are going to be some pain that he's going to feel, so that he thinks twice before he ever does that again. Because every time he wants to pick up that remote and turn on the TV, he's got to go, oh man, I can't do that because I treated somebody with disrespect. Every time he wants to get on the computer and play a game, or on his game system and play a game, oh, I can't do that. And I'll say, why can't you do that? Because I was disrespectful. That's right. And every time I will remind him until that punishment has been served. But you got to talk to your kids. You got to talk to them in the eye. You got to talk to them in the face. You got to make them look you in the eye. My 2-year-old came home with 2 more slips the other day. And I get down. I level. And I say, Jaden, we must be respectful to our classmates. You're a good boy. You know how to be a good boy. And his eyes are down, and he knows he's done wrong. You can tell by tonality in his voice that Dad's disappointed. But guess what? I just talked to him. Notice what I didn't do. I'm going to tell you what I didn't do. I don't tell him not to bite and not to scratch and not to pull hair, because those are the things he was, you know, those are the crimes he had. I tell him to be respectful. I want to tell kids what to do, what not to do. But all of this requires communication and talking. So, man, I don't know anything about parenting. I know jack, as a matter of fact. I know jack about parenting, as a matter of fact. I like that little rhyme. Anyway, just talk to your kids. It's so key to communication. We'll talk to you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.